two more people who are on the flotilla, Eva and Alice.
Assalamu alaikum. So we are now at the beginning of a moment of change. That it's a moment of change that comes after 62 years of occupation and tactics of massacre. What you saw on the Mavi Marmara is what has been happening to the Palestinian people for 60 years. The occupation and the siege of Gaza does not end at the ghetto walls of Gaza. It is happening in Jerusalem, in Jenin, in Nablus, and all throughout 1948 historical Palestine, also known as Israel. People, especially Mark Regev, are trying to say that our agenda is more than humanitarian aid. That's right. Yes, it is. Palestine is a political issue. The siege and the humanitarian crisis is a man-made crisis. And the solutions to it are going to come from people. And it's going to come from us. Because we cannot rely on the people in there to do the job for us. Israel only behaves with the arrogance and the impunity that it has done for 60 years, violating over 30 UN Security Council decisions, building a wall, an apartheid wall, in violation of international law. It does this with the help of the international community. Condemnation is not enough. Respect for human rights and international law is not a policy decision. It's not a choice to be made in number 10. It's an obligation. Millions of people died in the Second World War resisting occupation, resisting fascism to achieve the Geneva Conventions that we have that are supposed to protect people. And they are not protecting the people of Palestine. We need to force the governments to protect them, and we need to intensify our campaigning for boycott, divestment and sanctions on Israel. And we need to resist the demonization of our Muslim brothers and sisters, because we are a movement and we are a diverse movement. We are Jews, Christians, Muslims, atheists, communists. We are international. That flotilla, it represented the will of millions of people around the whole world, in the Middle East, in Africa, people living under dictatorship, other people living under occupation. That flotilla represented them. We are everywhere. And even as we mourn our 9 brothers, and trust me, I think there are more. There are people still missing. Israel is saying they only have 2 people in hospital. Our lawyers in Palestine are saying there is 15 people in hospital. There are still victims of this massacre. But listen, even as we mourn, and we mourn our brothers, and we mourn all who are dying under the blockade of Gaza and in the streets of Palestine resisting this occupation, and we're mourning also the loss of the humanity of the Israeli people, but we know it can come back. We do believe in humanity. We do believe in justice. That's why we're taking these risks, and it's an honor to take these risks. And it's an honor to sacrifice ourselves. Yes, it is. So let us celebrate the sacrifice. Let us celebrate the steadfastness of the Palestinian people, of our movement. Free everybody! Free Palestine! And now I hand the mic over to my comrade, Alex, from the Free Gaza movement.
I bring a message from the boats. Before our boat was taken by violence, we saw the beginnings of the brutal attack on the Mavi Marmara, in which 9 of our Turkish colleagues sacrificed their lives. The last message we received from the brave captain aboard the Mavi Marmara, from Captain Mehmet, we asked him if we should turn back to be with them, and he said, no, carry on, take the message out. And that's our message to you. Use this. Do not let the sacrifice of our Turkish colleagues' lives be in vain. Use this. Take the message out. Carry on. What we went through on those boats and in prison was not 1% of the Palestinian experience, not 1%. The difference is, we have governments that can represent us. We need to force our governments to act. Take the message to them, get to the streets. We're outside Downing Street. Get to your MPs, get to the media. Force the British government to take action, to force the Israelis to end their siege. Kick the Israelis out of the area. This mission is not about aid. There is no natural disaster in Gaza. They do not need aid. This is about human rights and dignity. Honour our Turkish colleagues by using this. Do not let their deaths be in vain. Human rights and dignity to Gaza. End the siege. Free Palestine, free Gaza. Free Palestine, free Gaza. Free Palestine, free Gaza. Free Palestine, free Gaza.
Thank you very much.